Good evening again, and we're going to enter the induction ceremony phase of the evening. The USC Aiken Athletics Hall of Fame was created to recognize and honor persons whose participation and contributions enriched and strengthened the university's athletic program. Criteria considered include athletic accomplishments of the individual while at USC Aiken, as well as post-USC Aiken accomplishments and character. There is a 5-year waiting period after leaving USC Aiken to become eligible for inclusion into the Hall of Fame. A committee made up of selected Pacer Club members, designated Hall of Fame members, local media, campus representatives, and alumni members vote on the new inductees every year. Set to be inducted into the USC Aiken Hall of Fame tonight are Scott Brown from golf, who is being presented by Bill Hardy. Dane Burkhart from golf, who is being presented by Doug Hubbard. Amanda Earlstein Wilkinson from volleyball, who's being presented by Will Condon. Gary Gilmore from baseball, who's being presented by Brian Mazingo and Randy Ward. And Don Weeks Libran, who's being presented by Bill Weeks and Scott Weeks. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Bill Hardy, who will present Scott Brown.
Well, this is a big pleasure for Bill Hardy. I always wanted to be somehow associated with the Hall of Fame, and here I am. So, first off, I'd like to introduce Scott Brown's mother and her friend Bobby, and also his grandmother and granddad. Would y'all please stand? Thanks. This goes back a long time when I first met Scott Brown. Steve Foss was the golf professor at Midland Valley, and then along came Brooks Blackman. We had great days playing golf together, and I knew Scott, I guess, just about as much as his mom did, because he spent a lot of time playing golf at Midland Valley to get his start. It's proud for me to announce him as the next inductee in the Hall of Fame of USC Aiken. Scott took up the game at age 3, and he played with his father at Goshen Plantation. That's in Augusta. And then he really grew up in North Augusta, and eventually was a 4-year letterman at North Augusta High School. And get this, when he was a sophomore at North Augusta, he won the junior azalea at the Country Club of Charleston, and he beat Bill Haas by 2 shots. Scott shot 69-66 at Country Club of Charleston. And you got to think about that a minute. That golf course is probably, as most of us know, one of the toughest in the state, I'm sure. But he shot 69-66. Scott came to USC Aiken in 2001, and he continued his great play throughout his college career. I'd like to highlight a few accomplishments during his collegiate career. Scott was a three-time All-American, 2002, 2006. He was the Peach Belt Conference individual medalist. The same in 2005 and 6, he was the Peach Belt Conference Player of the Year. 2005, 2006, he played on the Peach Belt All-Conference team. 2002, 2005, and 2006, he played in the Peach Belt All-Tournament team. 2005 and 2006, that was a great year for Scott. He was the NCAA Division II regional medalist. The same in 2005 and 6 on the NCAA Division II All-Region team. He was a part of the 3 NCAA Division II National Championship teams from 2004 to 2006, which he had a great big help from this young man to my right over here. He had 6 individual wins in 2005 and 2006, 9 individual wins overall at University of South Carolina, Aiken. It's still a Peach Belt Conference record. He had the lowest scoring average in USC Aiken history with a 71.68 his senior year. Also in 2006, he received the Jack Nicklaus Award as a top golfer in NCAA Division II. After that great collegiate career, he turned professional in 2006. He played the NGA Hooters Tour, the Tar Heel / E-Golf Tours. In 2007, he broke through with 2 wins. December of 2007, he married the love of his life, Allison, and he continued to play the mini tour. 2009, he led the E-Golf Tour's moneyless winnings 3 times along the way. 2010 and 11, Scott qualified and played on the nationwide tour, now known as the Web.com. 2011, he had a breakthrough year with 5 3 finishes, including a second at the Nationwide Tour Championship, where he secured his PGA card. He finished the year 8th on the money list, and he earned his PGA Tour card for 2012. He had a little jitters being a rookie, I guess. He missed the first 6 cuts on the tour before finishing 5th in Puerto Rico. He had 2 5-place finishes in 2012, but could only manage to place 148 on the money list. He barely maintained his conditional status for 2013. July of 2012, a new addition to the Brown family came along in the name of Elizabeth Marie, known as Ellen. He started his 2013 splitting his time between the Web.com Tour and the PGA Tour. He has regained his PGA Tour card through 2015 with the win at that year's Puerto Rico Open. He is currently 23rd in FedEx Cup point rankings. Scott was the first USC Aiken golfer to earn his PGA Tour card. I am extremely proud to be here and see my friend inducted in the USC Aiken Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Hey everyone, sorry I couldn't be there tonight. I'm playing in a tournament at Pebble Beach and I really wish I could be in both places, but unfortunately I can't. Thank you Brooks and Mr. Hardy for the opening remarks. Both of these guys have known me for a really long time and they have both been lifelong friends. Brooks has been such an influential figure in my golf career. His dad and my dad practically lived together when I was growing up. Brooks was someone that I looked up to because of his record in golf. He was the guy that I wanted to be like, go to a good college, turn professional, and hopefully one day be successful at the game. Mr. Hardy I've known for about the last 10 years of my life. We first played together at Midland Valley Country Club. He was in his late 60s, supposedly old and washed up, and I remember this because I think he shot 64 that day and kicked my butt. We still get out for an occasional round. When I'm in town, I still have to grind really hard for him not to beat me. I'm very thankful for both of you and can't imagine how it would have been without you being a part of my life. I would like to congratulate the other inductees tonight. I am so thankful that I get to share this achievement with so many great athletes. Being inducted into the USCA Hall of Fame means so much to me. I could not have accomplished what I accomplished at USCA if it were not for my teammates there. I know that golf is an individual sport, but in college it takes 5 guys to win national championships like we did. We've made each other better, we wanted to be the best, and we pushed each other to get better, and I'm a firm believer that's why we had so much success. There are so many people I need to thank for getting me to where I am today in my career. My dad for putting a club in my hand when I was 5 years old and teaching me how to play the game of golf. He never pushed me to play, he just provided me with the opportunity. I fell in love with the game at a very young age and I could not get enough. I remember going to the Masters with my grandfather and watching the game's best and knowing that this is what I wanted to do someday. My grandfather provided me with the means and transportation to all of my golf tournaments. If it were not for my grandfather, I can honestly say that I would not be where I am today. To be successful in this game, you have to have a good support group. People who believe in you and know that even when you're not at your best, tomorrow's a new day and it will be better. My grandparents and parents have always been my biggest supporters, and I am very thankful for the opportunities that they provided me with. I want to thank my wife. We met when we were both in college. She has been with me since the very beginning, from struggling on the mini tours to now on the PGA Tour. We also share the greatest gift of all. Our daughter Ellie is 18 months, and she is what drives me to be as good as I can be. I can't imagine my life without these 2 girls, and I feel very blessed that they are a part of my life. And last but not least, I need to thank Coach Carlisle for giving me the opportunity to play golf here at USCA. I've known Coach Carlisle since I played my first AAJGA golf tournament at 8 years old. He has always been someone that I respected not only for his leadership and coaching, but also his ability as a golfer. Just like any other kid, I wanted to play golf at some big name program, but that wasn't the route that was chosen for me. So I chose to come to USCA, and thank goodness I did. Playing golf for Coach Carlisle and this program that was so successful taught me how to win golf tournaments. We were so successful at USCA, which gave me so much confidence in my game. I definitely feel that I'm a better player for coming here, and I'm so glad that I can call USCA my school. Again, I am so sorry I could not be there tonight, but I am very grateful and honored to be a part of this Hall of Fame class. Thank you so much.
Next, I'd like to introduce Mr. Doug Hooker, who will present Dane Burkhardt.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Doug Huffer, and really this is a very special weekend for me here at USC Aiken. Not only do I have the honor of presenting one of USC Aiken's Athletic Hall of Fame inductees, my company is sponsoring the Prestige Classic with several of the top Division II baseball teams in the nation, playing alongside my alma mater, Shepherd University from Shepherdstown, West Virginia. And I see the coaches out here, they gave you guys a pretty good run today, didn't they, huh? So if you get the chance, go out and see some great baseball. And to my Shepherd brethren, good luck with these teams if you come to see it here in the South. But tonight, I really have the distinct honor of presenting Dave. He's a young man that I've known for a long time. But before I kind of go through some of the highlights around his career, as with many things in life, success starts with a strong foundation. And that foundation was built and nurtured through the years by Dane's parents, Mom Cindy, Dad Kenny. Your belief in your faith, your family, and a little help from your friends provided that firm foundation. And as his parents, you have to be very proud of your son tonight. And for the rest of the Burkhardt plan I see out there, I'll get back to you in a second. So, Dane's a local product from South Aiken High School. 2001 and 2002, he was a member of the state 4A championship golf team and was named to the All-State first team. 2002, he graduated from South Aiken along with one of his best friends, my son Michael. And you know, I was there. Dane was recruited, began his college golf career here at USC Aiken in the fall of 2002, and his freshman season was named the Peach Belt Conference Freshman Player of the Year. He also was named to the NCAA Division II All-Freshman and Region teams. And then with the start of the sophomore year in 2003, really the stars started to align for the USC Aiken golf program and Dane. That season, he and his teammates won their first NCAA Division II National Championship. He was honored as the NCAA Division II All-American, and he was named to numerous regional and all-conference teams. During his junior year, the USC Aiken golf team made it a repeat of winning their second Division II National Championship. Dane was the NCAA Division II Tournament individual medalist that year. He was named the first team All-American and was bestowed the honor of being named the NCAA Division II Player of the Year. But his high level of play continued. He won the prestigious Palmetto Amateur that summer. In the final day of the tournament, he set a course in league tournament record, shooting the incredible 59, a record which I do believe still stands today. But his hot hand continued on. He qualified at Woodside Plantation for the U.S. Amateur. And while I was looking through some of the stats, and you look through some of the people who qualified and who didn't qualify, there's one big name that didn't qualify. That's in that tournament. That was a guy named Dustin Johnson, if you remember him. And so he qualified for the U.S. Amateur, and just kind of like the team of Phil Mickelson and Bones McGuire, Dane and Michael were headed off to Philadelphia into the famed Marion Golf Club, where during the final round of the stroke play qualifier, he shot a 69, advancing onto the match play portion of the tournament. In the first round, Dane defeated a young man named J.P. Holmes, 1-up. Then in a match of the Division I and Division II National Players of the Year, Dane defeated James Lepp, 2-1, before losing to eventual U.S. Amateur runner-up Dylan Dougherty, who did lose in the final round of the tournament that year to Eduardo Molinari, who's now a European Tour member and a former Ryder Cup player. And besides myself and his dad, we were there, right? Then was back to the USC Aiken for his senior season, and with his teammates, made it a three-peat, winning their third consecutive NCAA Division II National Championship. Dane and his teammates received numerous, and I mean numerous, national, regional, and conference recognitions. Just really too many to really list here tonight, but it's a bunch. He graduated from USC Aiken in spring of 2006 with a business degree in accounting. But here I'd really like to stop and recognize someone else. You know, someone I really feel had a significant impact on his career. And without this person's guidance, I personally feel a lot of these accomplishments, and quite frankly, the accomplishments of the entire USC Aiken golf program would not have happened. And that person is Mike Carlisle. Coach, thank you for helping make this night possible for Dane. And thank you, really personally, for your friendship with myself and allowing me just to be a little bit small part of that team during those years. Let me tag along to the tournaments and everything such as that. It was something I'll always remember, you know, through the rest of my life. You know, after college then, Dane entered the ranks of professional golf. In his rookie season, he won 2 tournaments on the e-golf tour, and up until 2009, he finished in the top 30 on the e-golf tour money list. Dane married his college sweetheart, Keela, was the best man at my son's wedding, and now Keela and Dane have a son, Ashley, who is almost 2, and in another month, the family will become a foursome. And throughout this journey that brings us to this evening, I'm very proud to be here. So it's with my great privilege and admiration, on behalf of Dane, his wife Keela, his son Ashley, his mom Cindy, his father Ken, his brother Aaron, and the rest of the Burkholz family, to present to you Dane Burkhart 2014 USC Aiken Athletic Hall of Fame inducted. Dave, will you come forward?
Well, this is an incredible honor tonight to be inducted into the USC Hall of Fame. I can't believe it's been 7 years since I graduated. I'd like to thank Doug Huffer for being my presenter tonight. We have known each other for a long time, and you've always treated me as one of your own. You are an incredible inspiration for me as a person, as a father, and as a businessman. I hope I can be like you in some way one day. I'd like to thank all my family and friends that are here tonight. I'm constantly blessed to be surrounded by great people in my life, and I attribute that to my success that I've had in my short time here on earth. My parents are great. You have trained me to become a great person. I can't thank you enough. My grandma is here tonight. I know my grandfather is looking down from heaven right now and is very proud of this moment. He was the one who really started me in the game of golf when I was young, letting me go to Hounds Lake to do the junior clinics. And I remember him when I was in middle school, coming to all the middle school tournaments and riding around on the golf cart and giving us drinks and snacks. Unfortunately, he was not able to see me and play in high school and college. I know he's very happy tonight. My beautiful wife, Keelan, who has been a true inspiration for me. You are my rock. I can't thank you enough for everything you do for me. I've been truly blessed to have 10 years with you so far, and many more to come. I've got to thank Coach Carlisle. He really goes under the radar a lot of times for being a truly great coach. He likes to act like he doesn't really do anything. That couldn't be any further from the truth. I remember when I was in high school and was getting recruited by Coach. I can remember going, God, that's the last thing I want to do is stay in Aiken and go to college. He somehow convinced me to go to dinner with him at Outback, and I don't know what came over me, but I decided to commit and play for USC Aiken, and it was the best decision I've ever made in my life. I was blessed with 4 years at an incredible university and an incredible golf program. Coach is awesome. I can't say enough good things about him. He was one of my best friends when I was in school. We still stay in touch. I truly value his friendship and guidance as a coach. I wish Brownie could be here tonight. He's playing at Pebble Beach, so I see where his priorities are. But we talked about this a couple weeks ago when we had dinner. We were truly excited to be inducted together. Our 3 years together, we shared the USC Aiken were incredible. Me and Brownie have a true love-hate relationship with each other. We love each other off the golf course and hate each other on the golf course. And I truly attribute that to our success. We wanted so badly to push each other to become the best players we could, and in doing that, we pushed the rest of our teammates to kind of follow suit. It was an incredible run we had. I was looking back when I was putting some stuff together for this program tonight. We won 21 tournaments in our final 2 years in college golf. It's truly remarkable. During the time we were playing, we didn't really think anything of it. We just assumed it was natural that we would show up in the tournament and win. We were truly lucky to have a program like that. I've got to cut it somewhere. I'll just keep writing it. I truly am honored to be here tonight, to be inducted to the USC Aiken Hall of Fame. This was an incredible place for me to go to school. Everyone involved in this university has been so great to me, and I can't thank you enough. Hope I didn't miss anybody. Thank you so much.
Our next presenter is Coach Will Condon, and he will present Amanda Gurlestein Wilkinson.
Thank you all for coming tonight. Before I get started with my introduction to Andy, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Randy, Tim, and Angie for all of their hard work putting this all together. I know it's a special night for everyone, including myself. You guys make this possible. One of the things that I miss the most about my time at USC Aiken is the people, and these three are amongst the best there are. The second people I'd like to thank are Mandy's parents, Bill and Pam. If you've ever met Mandy's parents, then you would know why Mandy is the person that she is today. They are truly amazing, exceptional people, and it's been an honor to know you and to have the pleasure of having your daughter on my team for 4 years. So thank you very much. I promised Mandy that I would not tell any embarrassing stories about her, which is really a shame for you guys because there are some really good ones. But it was almost 10 years ago to the day when I first saw Mandy play in a small tournament in the DC area. I can still picture the gym, 2 small courts, and instantly she made an impression on me as someone we had to have on our team. She was a complete package of size, athletic ability, skilled, and she worked incredibly hard when she played. And those are the things you just saw from watching her the first time. And later I found out that she was also equally an impressive student and person. Mandy visited USCA not long after she committed, and she was part of a very special recruiting class for our team. 2 of those players are here today, Veronica and Missy. I still think one of the reasons why she came to USCA was because I was the only coach that did not tell her that she was going to start as a freshman. And one of the things that Mandy likes to do is prove me wrong, even though I can still remember in my office thinking in my head, you're totally going to start, but not telling her. Mandy's academic achievements are as long and distinguished as her athletic ones. During her 4 years here, she made only 1 B+, everything else A's. Something that, even as I'm mentioning, is probably something that she's bitter about, because that's Mandy. But besides the grades, she took advantage of the opportunity to be at a school like USCA and take advantage of all the opportunities that it afforded her. She worked on various experiments with professors, and she would explain to me what each of them were in extreme detail using very large words, but I never really understood any of what it was. Her senior year, Mandy was an academic All-American, which for volleyball is basically the hardest award that you can ever get, especially at that time. We were classified in a group that included all of the Division II schools, but also the Division III schools and the NAIA schools. So you're talking competing against almost 1,000 teams. And it's one of the reasons why the Peach Belt hasn't had an academic All-American since Mandy. On the court, Mandy's impact was immediate. In her first college match, she had 12 kills, 1 error, hit 579 with 4 aces, and a 3-0 sweep of Barton. So yes, she started, but I knew that was going to happen all along. Over the next 4 years, Mandy became one of the most feared and intimidating forces in our region. She would finish her career third at USCA in total kills with 1,455, second in total blocks with 484. She was named All-Conference 3 times. She was the Peach Belt Conference Tournament MVP in 2006 and the Player of the Year in 2007, and that wasn't even close. But Mandy was not about the individual awards. Mandy was about winning. In 2006, she helped us to a regular season conference title and a tournament championship. In 2007, we went undefeated in the Peach Belt, dropping only 4 sets total that year in conference. Both years we went on to NCAA tournament, the first time in USC Aiken history. To me, the thing about Mandy is that Mandy gets life. She gets when you have an opportunity, you make the most of it. And maybe that's one of the things that attracted her here to USCA, the opportunity to do it all. And this is what makes her a Hall of Famer. So, thank you. And please welcome Mandy.
Thank you so much. I feel very humbled by this honor, and it feels surreal to stand here. While I'm up here by myself, there are so many who are integral to my success as a student. First and foremost, I want to give all the glory to God, without whom none of my accomplishments would exist. Growing up, I spent many nights watching my dad play volleyball at church, and my sister playing for a high school. They were the first to introduce me to the sport of volleyball, and I was immediately fascinated. My family has always been very supportive of me, especially my endeavors with volleyball. My parents took me to practice, matches. They came down several times while I was here at USDA to cheer us on. My parents and sister are here today, and I feel so blessed to be able to thank them. When I was a senior in high school, it was springtime and I still hadn't committed to a college. And Coach Will Condon found me, as he said, in a very small gym up in Maryland and recruited me here to USC. It was one of the best things that ever happened to me. And he has supported and lobbied for me since the first day I met him, from fighting to get me an academic scholarship to molding my technique as a volleyball player. Will invested so much time, encouragement, and unwavering support. I owe so much of my success to him. Thank you, Will. I was very fortunate to play volleyball with so many talented and wonderful women whose hard work and support afforded our team and me the experience success. I was very blessed to be surrounded by teammates who encouraged, pushed me to be the best player that I could be. I could always depend on my team. I knew that when we were down and needed to side out or a big play to change the momentum, that we could do it. Their determination and hard work provided the opportunities for my success. I'm so honored to share tonight to my teammates, Veronica, Fidel, Mount Chavis, and Missy Gilroy. Thank you guys for your lifelong friendship. I look back at my time at USC with pride. I always felt like I was part of a family, not just on the volleyball team, but as part of the student body as a whole. That motivated me to strive to be my best in everything I did on the court and in the classroom. I knew that when we travel as a team, we were not just players, we were ambassadors of the university. To some spectators, we may be the only representation of USCA they would ever see, and I took this responsibility very seriously. I wanted to represent USCA in the most positive way that I could, so that my behavior was consistent with the school's values and reflect positively on the university. I feel so incredibly honored to have been chosen to be part of the USCA Hall of Fame. USCA is very special to me, and this honor makes me feel like maybe in some small way, I was special to the university as well. Thank you very much.
Our next presenters are the tandem of Brian Gazingo and Randy Ward, and they will be presenting Coach Gary Gilmore.
It's an honor for me to make some remarks, not only about one of the best baseball coaches in South Carolina, but one of the best baseball coaches in the country, Coach Gary Gilmore, who's been inducted into the USC Aiken Hall of Fame tonight. If you look up the word coach in the dictionary, you will find that a coach is a person who teaches and trains the members of a sports team and makes decisions about how the team plays during the games. They make their players better on and off the field, and they teach their players how to work together. Coach Gilmore certainly fits this description. Having known Gary now for almost 30 years, I think there are several factors that make him so successful. One is his recruiting ability, two is his passion to win, and three is his ability to teach and coach. Gary has a knack for seeing talent and prospects. Even today, when I call Gary, oftentimes he is crisscrossing the country, going to evaluate one prospect after another. When he was at USC Aiken, I used to question why Gary recruited so many northern players. Then when I saw his baseball media guide, and he showed that Aiken was next to the beach, I knew why he recruited those northern players. Gary also has a burning passion to win. All baseball coaches hate to lose, but Gary really hates to lose. He has been known to say a few choice words following a tough loss, I'm told. Lastly, Gary loves to work with his players and teach them baseball. He would stay on the field working with players 24 hours a day if there were NCAA rules against that, and if his wife Kathy would let it. And it doesn't matter if it's about throwing, fielding, hitting, base running, it doesn't matter. Gary loves that aspect of working with players to make them better. Gary came to USC Aiken as a graduate assistant coach in the fall of 1985. He became our assistant baseball coach in 1988 and head coach in 1990. In the 6 years that Gary was at USC Aiken won 2 Peach Belt Conference championships, an NAIA area championship, an NCAA region championship, and took 2 teams to the World Series, one to the NAIA World Series and the other to the NCAA. And in 1993, Gary was named the Peach Belt Conference, South Atlantic Region, and National Division II Coach of the Year.
Hello. Gary Gilmore is in his 50th year, I believe, as head coach. He has 982 wins, working on his 1,000 win this season. He's an 8-time Big South Coach of the Year, and he is one of 11 programs to reach the regions each of the last 7 years. 13 NCAA berths, 12 40-plus win seasons in the last 15 years, and numerous draft picks in NCAA. But every new year brings milestones. Every time I call Coach Gilly when something goes good and we reach one of those milestones, it's like every time I pick up the phone nowadays. When I came here in 1986, me, Roberto, and a ton of the other ones that he brought in here, we came in and here it was his first year. He brought a blue collar type of approach to the game, taught us how to play the game. And that's what separates him from the pack. And has made him one of the elite college coaches in the nation, if not the best college coach in the nation. You know, he's a humble person. You know, to the team, nobody is bigger than any part of it. And he has a passion and a willingness to win. You know, like Coach Ward said, if NCAA rules would allow him to spend 24 hours there. Well, when we were at AIA, he did spend 24 hours there. I remember hitting down there until 12 midnight, you know, breaking out new balls that Randy didn't know we had. But that's the way it was. I was a catcher, so we didn't get to hit much, so he'd stay behind and we'd hit. Next thing you know, it's 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. But it wasn't just me, half the team, 90% of the team was there. He brought that kind of excitement and enthusiasm to us and taught us how to play the game and brought a toughness that took us to the next level. 1986 was the first year we went to the College World Series, and it was in great part from what he brought to the program and what he instilled in us. And that toughness showed the very first weekend when we had a bench playing brawl with the University of Tennessee that came down to play us, which I don't think will ever come back again. And he just brings so many variables to us. He taught us so many life lessons. Today, I don't even know how many years it is. It's like 20 years ago. But he's my best friend. I bring my children down to coach to where he's at now and in their camps and learn from the best that there is. So, he's meant a lot to me as a person. He's been there for some tough times and some good times. And, you know, Randy said it as his passion to win. Well, when you win as a team, you also lose as a team. There's consequences. When we lost, there were consequences. You know, the 24-hour rule came back in at 6:30 in the morning. We were up running when we lost the game. So, and he took that over to coastal with him where the poor guys had Bronco Beach. He has a knack for pushing the right buttons. Each and every player played with their ability. And he has some very special gifts. And I go down to Coastal often now, bring my family and my children, and we go and watch all our games, and we're part of the program there, and we're part of his family. Each and every one of those players from my team back in '86, we're all part of his family. We talk to them. We've never lost contact. We're all in contact together. He's a part of our lives and a big influence in how we live our life. He's made that kind of impact on each and every one of us. So at this moment, I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce Gilly, Coach Gilmore, as a Hall of Fame coach.
First off, I'd like to thank Randy and Brian for the kind words they had to say about me, and the people that allowed me to have this night, all you players that are out there that I had the joy and pleasure of coaching. No coach is any better than the group of men that he has a chance to work with. You know, I've been blessed for almost 30 years to be a college coach. It's truly a blessing every day to go to work. Now, a few people I want to say a quick thank you to. It meant so much to me. I spent 10 years of my life here, and it was a family love affair for my wife and I. We had our children here. It was just an unbelievable experience for us to get this fantastic university and to be in the city of Aiken. Couldn't have asked for a better place to start my coaching career, nor a better place to start a family and raising them. Dr. Alexander, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Dr. Hallman, I got a chance to speak with you for a second. Thank you so much for believing in me and backing me up with all the things that you did for me. Dr. Flower, who was here, was a dear friend. I know he's not here tonight. Dean Kaufman, if any of you know him, he was a fantastic mentor to me. I mean, I was a young guy, full of vinegar and everything else. And, you know, he was a calming mentor voice to me, and you know, he taught me a whole lot of things about life, about coaching that were outside of mine, and I'll never be able to thank him enough. And all the people I worked with on a daily basis, got to see Janet Joy today, Peggy Baker, who was the secretary, John Cumby, Al Woodward, Mike Finley, Colonel George Gibson, who helped teach me how to lay cinder block and pour cement and finish cement, things I never had the chance to do growing up. And Jackie Brown, her secretary, all these people were so instrumental to me. Mike Carlisle, I'll tell you this, I told you when you walked on board, and I told you tonight, I said you were going to win a national championship before I did, and I was right. But I'm proud of you. You've done it 3 times, and you're really proud. Jerry Snyder, I know, is still here too, and we were dear friends. Ray Moore, I can never thank you enough for giving me that first opportunity. I'll never forget, I had gotten out of pro ball and was teaching school a year, and I told my wife, I said, I can't do this. There's no way. You know, even though I got to coach high school baseball, I wanted to shoot myself. It was not me. I had great kids, it just was not what I wanted. Never forget, I came to Aiken and to Augusta College and interviewed at both places. And you know, Randy offered me a whopping $1,000, and he was going to pay for school. Well, actually, I thought that was a great deal. I was going to get coach college baseball and actually get paid to do it. And I wanted to get my master's, and it was a great opportunity for me. But I told him, I said, Augusta College is probably got a little bit better deal than that going, but I'd rather be here. He told me that he would pay my bar tab for the next 2 years, so I think he lost in that deal, to be very honest with you. But thank you so much, Ricky. Honestly, it was a pleasure and a great honor to be here. Randy had already built a very, very, very good baseball team and program here, a nationally competitive program. And I walked in And it's kind of a perfect storm, to be honest with you. It gave me an opportunity to do some things, and Randy became athletic director, and it was a perfect storm for me in so many ways. The whole program, everything that we achieved together here, I'm very, very proud of. And you know, I never could have gotten started and gotten this done without Randy, wherever we indifferent. Roberto Hernandez, very first year. Bert, you'll never know how much you mean to me, how much you meant to me back in those days, and not only for being the best player I ever had an opportunity to coach, but honestly, maybe being the best person I ever had a chance to coach. You've been awesome, and everything you do with class, you never forget a friend, you never forget anyone. You're absolutely one of the classiest people I've ever met. I'm so blessed to have had the opportunity to be around you. My wife was making fun of me back at the hotel because outside of breakfast names now, I want to wing this thing the rest of the way out. I'm not a big, you know, I just can't, I can't do something like that. Write it down and read it. I can't. It's great, but it's just not me. Got to tell 2 or 3 stories. I hope you'll bear with me. I think you'll have a good time and listening to them because they're just things that I have a meaning of. You know, I'm probably be up the wee hours of the morning tonight with a bunch of these former players rehashing all these stories. So I'm going to share 2 or 3 of them with you. And realize when I first came here too, the world was a little different than the one we live in now. You know, there was 18-year-old, you know, drinking and things. And college life is a little different than it is today. And, you know, it was an opportunity as a coach you shared and did things with players that now if you do it, you know, obviously you lose your job on site. So, you know, again, some things are different, but our first road trip, spring break trip, my buddy Brian here, Randy and I checked curfew one night and had a rainout, and we were actually in Daytona Beach on spring break getting ready to play several really good teams down there. We get rained out one night, so we had curfew probably 1 or 2 in the morning, and when he and I checked it was a pitiful sight, to be very honest with you. You know, we were definitely not in shape at that moment to play baseball. So we put them on the bed. We go to bed, Randy and I, and we talked about that night. So, you know, we got to have practice in the morning. So we ran around later at night to make sure everybody was in. So we're going to practice in the morning. That didn't go over real well, but I mean, we still did it. We show up to practice, and we said, "What do you think y'all doing?" I said, "Well, let's have some fun with it. We'll see what they're made out of." So we told them, Randy has a knack. I've never seen anyone in 30-some years of being around professional college baseball. He can hit the highest catcher pop-ups I have ever seen. I mean, these things are in the jet stream where the airplanes are. I mean, it's unbelievable. Well, we told Brian Mazinga, who was our catcher, who was not very good at catching pop-ups anyway, we told him every time he dropped one, all the rest of the team had to run a lap around the field, which is like a quarter of a mile. Well, I'm going to tell you what, if you've ever seen a cartoon, I mean, this was a cartoon. I won some money for you to film this thing because Randy would hit the pop-ups, and I mean, their hang time, they're up there 8-10 seconds. They would land over here, Brian's running over here. And, you know, he just spinning around, and the guys are going nuts. It was absolutely hilarious. I think it took him, I don't know if he ever caught one. Bert told me, he said he never caught one. Absolutely didn't catch one. So, but we were there quite a while. Those guys got a good run in. Another time, we had just won the area tournament to go to the World Series for the first time. And it was an incredible experience. All of us were so happy and ecstatic about going. We were talking about it at lunch with Randy and Martha. And you know, Randy and Martha had this gorgeous townhouse up in North Augusta. And we decided to put on a team gathering and get together for all the team. So everybody goes over to their house. She has everything, designer this, designer that. I mean, it was a Better Homes and Gardens kind of front cover type townhouse. Well, you know, by the end of that night, I mean, I think we had the boys that had a food fight or two in there. I mean, it was a mess. But the best part about it, we were doing everything around the pool that night, and had burgers, baked beans, coleslaw, potato salad. I remember it like it was yesterday. Randy had just gotten his plate. Everyone else, I think, had eaten. He had just gotten his plate, beginning to walk down along the edge of the pool. And for you all that are in my age group, if you remember the Roadrunner and the Coyote cartoons, the Coyote, every time something would happen to him trying to catch a Roadrunner, right before he got run over by a truck or fell off a cliff, he would stop. And there'd be all these words or something, whatever, about what am I doing, and boom, the truck hits him or something. Well, just picture this right here. I mean, Randy's got all this food right here, and as he's walking along, I don't remember who it was, but two of the kids kind of gave him a forearm shove. Next thing you know, Coach Warwick is flying across the middle of the community pool at their townhouse. And it's like he gets to the middle of the pool and realizes, like the old Coyote, oh my, I'm out over the center of the water with all this food. So as he's dropping into the middle of the pool, you can see him, his hand continues to go up with that plate, up and up and up, and finally, underneath he goes, and there goes the burger, the buns, the beans, everything's floating in the water. He sits down there for like 20 seconds, up comes the head, I mean, there's beans all over him. It was the funniest thing you've ever seen. It was absolutely hilarious. And last thing, my first year coaching, we went to on a road trip to Florida to play Large Southern, Tampa, and Rollins, who were very similar to what Kenny's doing out here. They happen to be three of the best Division II schools in the entire country. We were going down there to take them on their turf. On the way there, we pulled off in Jacksonville, one of the exits down there. I'm driving one van. I can't remember who was driving the other, but you know, 15 passenger van is a misnomer with college-sized kids. I mean, you get 15 guys on one of those things. I mean, you got to get a shoehorn and get them in there, you know. Well, we also had a white trailer, so we put all the luggage in this trailer. My van goes off the ramp first. The other one's probably 300-400 yards behind us. I get stopped at the stoplight, sitting there, and all of a sudden, about the time I stop, and maybe for a second or two, all of a sudden, there comes this wheel. Okay, there's a tire. And it's flying across the intersection. It hits the curb, bounces over this picket fence, one time on a porch, and wham, right into the door jamb of somebody's house. And I mean, I know the whole house. And then I see three of our guys running at it. I'm going, what was going on? The wheel from the trailer had come off. And it's flying through and hits this guy's house. By the time the kids got to the picket fence, out comes a guy in a white Peter t-shirt, undershirt, and a pair of boxers on with a shotgun. And I'm thinking, oh God, my first road trip as a head coach, and I'm going to lose 3 guys right now. Scared me to death. 6 inches to the right, that tire goes right through that door, right into his living room. I mean, it was hilarious. And then we had to put all the bags inside the trailer, inside the van. It was incredible. But the fun and experiences I had coaching, it's hard to put into words. I do remember the one thing that Randy did ask me when I came in and interviewed. He said, Coastal Carolina has been my nemesis. Can you show us what we're not doing that we need to do? And I said, well, I don't know if I can, but I'm going to give it my best shot. And together, we did a lot of things right. Because from that day forward, we got after it. And I was so proud of the tradition and the things that we were able to build over those years that we shared together. together. And I'm so unbelievably proud of them. These men that played for us and the things that they did, the memories that they walked out of here with. USC Aiken is one of the best baseball programs in the country at any level, not just Division II. Always has been and always will be. And I'll be forever indebted to each and every one of the people here that have a part of being in my life and with this program, and with this community made this program. All the support of this university. And I'll never be able to thank you enough for the wonderful experiences. You made a young man that had a lot of passion, a lot of desire. You made an awful happy young man, and I carried that passion and the same desire to Coastal Carolina. And these two schools are the love of my life, and I'll always be indebted to you. Thank you very much.
Our final presenters of the night are Bill and Scott Weeks, and they'll be presenting Dawn Weeks later. Coach Gilmore.
Sharing this microphone, it might be kind of like those 15 national buses with me and my brother up there. Scott and I are very excited and honored to be able to present our sister, Dawn Weeks Library, to you for enshrinement in the Hall of Fame for this incredible university. Welcome to this opportunity to think about this amazing woman. We've always done this pleasure to know you may not always happen. We are two lucky brothers to acknowledge that our sister has grown and become the loving, sweet, and supportive woman that she is. We will share some of the obstacles she has overcome to be recognized as she is tonight. It did seem like Dawn was an accident thing that happened for a very partner life. Should have made a room at the ER at Augusta for the Weeks family during our early days of retirement. Yet Dawn was stricken early on with something they thought was polio. In elementary school, she learned to operate a wheelchair in the driver's seat for several long months. After she survived this, Mom enrolled her in ballet and gymnastics, something Scott and I really tried hard to get involved in. But she broke her neck and spent several weeks in the hospital in traction with 20-pound weight strapped to her neck. She was about 8 or 9 years of age. The difficulties were in the middle of part 9. There were other things that her life threatened. At a young age, she changed her report card, became very important, and she survived. She got suspended from school for cutting class and going to the same restaurant that Bill had. School to go to for this. She never could get away with anything. She stole my ice cream. Scott also stole my ice cream. She survived that. She did have a terrible temper. Like most of you in here couldn't even recognize her when she gets mad. But she got into an argument with our mother and slapped her back. This could have ended her life. Scott and I both ran, so we would not witness the killing. She also learned very badly to hang up the phone before pitching a tantrum and destroying the house. After she had called her mother and asked permission to do something, got told no. She didn't hang up the phone. The mother got to the house, the doors were still locked. Scott and I ran from that too. Did I mention she stole my ice cream? The skills that Dawn developed in athletics are a direct result of our mom driving her ballet and gymnastics, hundreds of practices, all the sports she played. Great coaches, great teachers, and a passion to be the best, and not afraid of the hard work. Were also factors that brings us here tonight.
Scott and I taught her to shoot basketball. She has dominated the weak sport ever since. I taught her to foul. Any of y'all remember me playing? I'm very good at it. But I did not get her to stop saying excuse me after she did it. I kept telling me, you get 5 fouls. You don't get to save them up. She wouldn't do it.
Bill and I struggle with things like bench sprints, bench pressing, pull-ups, push-ups, and would often see Donald walking around the house in her hands. That just wasn't right. Something wrong with that. Neither of us could play volleyball. All the credit goes to Donald and our great coaches. Donald became the best athlete.
Although Don could have played at those schools, we had already lost a brother to Clemson. Don entered USC with some slight, artfully done pressure from me. I knew how great a coach Johanna Gibbs was from watching her scream and holler through and play, and countless other great women athletes she coached. I knew she would run and worked on as hard as Lou had done to me. Don had witnessed my career at USC that I was so blessed to have, and that was kind of an arrow in my arsenal. I think I helped convince her that she would own USC. Tonight is a slight tribute to my always being right.
Our family always knew Dawn would get recognized for her athletic career, but you could never convince her of who she was. Bill and I focused on one sport after playing in high school. Dawn was awesome too. In spite of severe heart palpitations that would suddenly appear, he was a 4-year starter in basketball and volleyball. That's the Aiken. The most important thing was she got a degree. It took her a little bit longer as it did, but we're most important.
That's not the way I wrote it.
I know. Changed.
The athletes today are awesome. I come down here and watch them, they blow my mind. Officials are still blind as hell. But I want to tell you that NAI, I was looking around at the banners up here before we did this. NAI schools in the 70s and 80s are those schools. They are the schools that Dawn and I grew up playing. NAI all district at USC Aiken in 1980 and in 1982 for volleyball, and in 1984 for basketball, the feats that only a few college athletes achieved. For perspective, I think NAI District 6 had 20 plus teams in the 70s and 80s, and all or most of the teams that the Peach Belt includes were NAI schools back then. Statistics did not seem important 30 plus years ago, but I am certain she would have been an all-time leader in a number of categories, or one of the all-time leaders.
Our family lived on one court or field in South Carolina for our dad. Mom would earn roads up to make our game. But with 3 kids on 3 different teams and 3 different schools, it was tough. Even though we all supported each other, Bill and I did not get to see Dawn play as often as we would have liked. We thank the great coaches and teachers that molded and taught a beautiful system. There are angels above watching and smiling as we proudly present to you our sister, Dawn.
get squared away here. I need to see, and I need my hankies. Thank you. I'd like to thank USC Aiken. I will always remember him as a coach, Randy Ward, and the committee, and everyone involved in this special event. It is a distinguished honor beyond words, being selected as a Hall of Fame inductee. I just want to say thank you to all the trainers, all the supporters, all the mamas and the papas, and there's a couple of mamas out there. Now I've got an Aunt Lillian and her brood, who I spent much of my life with at this table over here. And I've got Mrs. Zimmerman out there somewhere, one of my mamas, and just one of the many who, chauffeured kids around, supported, did all of those things. Thank you to friends and family throughout my high school and college years, some of whom made really special efforts to get here tonight. So much started back then. Coach Becky Wetzel, who's here tonight, her encouragement and support and work with me in those early years. Carrie Johnson, Coach Carrie Johnson, who is not here tonight, who taught me and gave a girl with little assurance a little bit of confidence. Coach Wayne Martin, who allowed me to shoot hoops anytime I wanted behind his house. Coach Giovanni Gibbs, who recruited me, coached me, supported me, protected me my freshman year. I just wish I had more time with her. I was fortunate to come in with and get to know three amazing athletes and women, Paula Skedzbold, Mindy Daniels, and Lee Pagan. Special thanks to Drew McPherson, who was a coach and a role model of tenacity and fortitude. I had the privilege of being on the same team and being coached by her and being a friend of hers. Coach Chris Faust, who was a wonderful mentor and example, and special thanks to Dean Kaufman, who was ever present and supportive and just such a joy. Thanks to the Aiken Standard and Scott Hunter for years of support and news coverage of games, and for his kindness to our family. It has been bittersweet and quite a journey in itself, looking back at those years long ago, and yet a moment ago. I'm very grateful looking back at the sports teams that I've played on, and the teammates that have taught me and challenged me and humored me and befriended me. Thanks to two of the best brothers a girl could ever have. How obvious is that? You have been awesome, awesome role models. My life would not have been what it is if it were not for you. Thanks to Amy and Kay, Megan and Bill and Beth for being you and loving me. You rock. Special thanks to my husband Steve and my friend Julie, who have allowed me to relive my life at USC Aiken and my early years. They've shared tears, they've heard stories, all those great things that this Hall of Fame.
Aramark, USC Aiken Housekeeping, and our operations department have all helped us tremendously to get everything ready. Let's give them all a big hand. Last but certainly not least, I'd like to take a moment to thank our Master of Ceremonies, Joe Kucharski. Joe, as most of you know, we call the voice of the Pacers. Joe is the public address announcer for soccer, volleyball, basketball, and baseball, and any other special event that we have, such as the Hall of Fame. He has and always does a great job, and Joe, we appreciate everything that you do for us. I would be remiss if I didn't remind everyone that this is homecoming weekend, and we've got some alumni events planned tomorrow morning here in the Convocation Center. At 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, we've got an alumni women's basketball schedule. It's hard to believe that this room that you're in now will be basketball tomorrow morning. We also have baseball tomorrow at 3 o'clock, as well as a lot of other homecoming activities scheduled for tomorrow that I hope you'll attend. Before we end the evening tonight, I'd like to ask our Hall of Fame inductees to assemble on stage for a few more pictures that we want to take. If anyone in the audience would like to get some more pictures, please feel free to come up and do so. And then as soon as we do that, Tim Hall and Angie Osmond will unveil our Hall of Fame glass etchings, which are to the right of the stage here for everyone to see. We appreciate everyone coming tonight. We hope that you've had a good time. Thank you. And one thing I forgot to announce, all of our other Hall of Fame inductees from previous years, we would like you to come up so we can get a group picture of all of these